So I was telling Sunshine last time, like, she was asking for topics for the beginning. But the problem is we talk for like 5, 7, 10 minutes. And by that point, people are thinking, oh, we're in the podcast. So I think it has to be under a minute, whatever bullshit we talk about.
Okay.
Prior. I don't know. Why we got smirks?
I told her.
Oh, yeah? What she said?
She said, what? I had to think of ideas and now I gotta knock it down. I'm over here, correct? Oh, I forgot my ring. Now I'm not married.
That's okay. It's fine.
It is. It's fine.
We can use a break every now and then.
You're an asshole. All right. Well, welcome to the Unlikely Podcasters, another episode. This week we're talking about traveling and saving money, right?
Yes.
Or traveling versus saving
Saving
money,
money,
depending
right.
on your situation.
Yeah.
Yes.
And if you travel and should you travel
Or should you save money?
or should you save money? Or can you do both?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Who wants to start?
Are we going to incorporate kids in this too?
I think we have to if we have children.
Like, should we take them? Because then that's
Oh.
extra money.
That is.
Yes.
I think
well, it
that's
depends. I mean,
right.
you guys luck out. Sometimes Asher doesn't want to go with you guys.
Yeah.
Well, not anymore.
Oh, now he wants to
Yes.
go.
Now he wants to
So-
go. So,
After the last trip,
yeah.
and for the listeners, Tara and I went to Greece in 2023, and Asher did not want to go. But while we were there, he said, "Do not leave me again. I will go every time now."
But he's not going to, like, so her dad was talking about going to Spain. And we decided we were not going to go. But when we were discussing it, he's like, oh, I'm going to go to Spain. Asher. And I'm like, I don't think you are. Because there's nothing there he's going to want to do. He doesn't like walking a lot.
Mhm.
He's going to be bored. And then he's going to complain. And then we're all going to fight. And then does not make for a good time. So.
And internationally, you got to pay for cell service, which I am not going to pay for a
Right.
13-year-old boy for cell service.
So he can only be on the phone
When
if there's
we're in
Wi-Fi. Which then, he'll be really bored. His
Mhm.
life will be miserable.
Uh-huh. And this is the same kid, if you recall, when we went to Universal Studios.
Mm-hmm.
We're walking around, having a good old time. And then at some point, he just says, I would like to get an Uber to the car now.
From Universal
inside
to the
Universal.
parking lot of Universal Studios.
He's like, can't you just call an Uber? Oh, wait, what
No.
did he do in D.C. that one time?
He just stopped walking.
And yeah, he just sat on the ground.
He was like, I'm tired. I'm like, I know, but we're almost there. And then he's like, nope, I'm sitting. And he just sat on the ground. I was like, okay.
Well, DC's rough.
No, it was a lot of walking.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, and I said, okay, we did take a break. But then he was just like, no, I'm just going to sit. And then he sat. And then he was traumatized by the dead ducks in the pond. But
That's a whole
That's a whole
different
other
story.
that's a whole other story. So I don't know. I mean, if you can, that's tricky.
Yeah.
Because you have to worry about being old. But then what if you don't make it to then?
Mm-hmm.
What if you die before you get to, I've saved money to be this old and now I'm dead and I should have went to this place and that place.
Yeah. And just like we kind of touched on last week, retirement is wasted on the old.
I'm sure the old love that.
Yeah. But I mean, I'm sure, just like my parents, they're traveling all the time.
Yeah.
But I'm sure they would have loved to do it
Yes. When they could walk better.
10, 15 years ago when they could walk better. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so then that brought me to last year when I had that conversation with you. I'm like, I want to travel more.
I do too.
But our pocketbook doesn't say that's a good thing.
I mean, we can do it. That we don't pay other things. And you definitely don't save any money.
Well, you're not alone.
I'm not alone.
63% of Gen Zers and 59% of millennials agree with you. They'd rather spend money on life experiences rather than save for retirement.
Yeah.
Now, people will probably be like, oh, Gen Z, millennials, whatever.
Well,
They're
we're
also
Xers.
younger.
We're Xers,
Yes.
so
But
yeah.
But even when you say that, people will tend to criticize, and it's more like, okay, well, Gen Zers have time to save.
Yeah.
Their
Yeah.
age group is 12 to 27.
Yeah. When
I
I was
mean-
that young, I wasn't paying attention to that kind of crap
No,
either.
no, I was traveling at that age, right? on credit cards, but hey,
I was just going to say, yeah.
they're all paid off at this point, so it doesn't matter.
Well, I mean, we racked up credit cards too.
Yeah.
I guess traveling, and we went to, that one excursion we went to New York and whatever,
Yeah.
but like not real traveling.
Yeah.
But we wasted money on other things. I didn't know. Traveling wasn't on my mind then, I guess. I didn't think about it the way I think about it now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I read an article similar. I guess, perhaps it was along the same lines that you were reading, Susanna, but that we're Generation X and more baby boomers and Generation Xers are wanting to travel more now versus the past few years.
So it's not like they in 2019 they didn't really want to travel as much, but
Right.
now they've changed their thought process.
Yeah. Yeah. Which is exactly where I'm at.
Yeah,
Plus-
but I wonder what. So
I think COVID. I really do.
that's what I'm thinking. But that's not what it was for me. I don't think it's what it is for me. COVID didn't change my mind. Like, oh, I should really travel. Well, I think it's just getting older. It's like you're running out of time. When we were in our 20s, we didn't think about running out of time. We thought, oh, okay, we'll travel when we get there. Well, now we're getting old. Our bodies are getting old. So when you walk, it's less pleasant when you have to walk long distances.
True.
Well, in the article I was reading too, and then the Gen Zers and even the millennials have, they hear like the older generations going, well, retirement isn't what it's cracked up to be. One of them was like a tour guide, and you had somebody kind of like with a walker or some sort of, and they couldn't do. So this is the vacation of a lifetime that they've planned for years, and then they can't do half of the things because they're not physically able to do it. And so a lot of them take that too as into consideration for saying, hey, I'm just going to travel now and chill.
Yeah.
When I'm,
and we
when I
saw that
retire.
on the trip to Greece.
Yeah.
There was that one guy that had a cane. Like he toughed it out. He did. I mean, he pushed as much as he could, but he was always way in the back.
Yeah.
And there were certain things obviously he just couldn't do.
Yeah. It just wasn't possible. But anything that he could remotely do, that bitch didn't.
But even your stepmom, she was just like, yeah, you guys go ahead. I'm not going to go. It was like one of the last ones, like the Apollo thing.
Oh.
Everybody went up and they said, if she goes, it's a little bit hike up. If you don't want to go. And a bunch of people went. So they didn't even see it at all. None of it. They just went immediately to the museum and waited for the rest of us to come.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why retirement's wasted on the old man.
Not everybody, but
Not everybody. Yeah.
But I think you have to take that into consideration. Do you want to travel now or later when you're not depending on what activities you want to do? To your point, a lot of it is hiking. A lot of it is trekking through things, climbing things. I mean,
and even just in Paris, there was no uphill trekking. It was just distance. You just had just a lot of walking. Period.
Yeah, there's a lot of walking. When I was in Cologne, there's like 2,600 steps if you want to go to the top and check out the view and do those kinds of things. Yeah. So some of and those are little steps made for medieval feet. They were shorter and smaller then. Yeah. So yeah, I think that factors in physically. I think that would matter. And then I think you're able to finagle and plan and do things, I think, easier, I think, in your youth, perhaps. And do you want to sit on a 9-hour flight? Or let's just say you want to go to Japan, or that's a much longer trek. Yeah. And are you going to be able to really weather those? I know
it gets more difficult. Like she got a bad bout of something on the way back. And it was a long flight. I mean, it was 11 hours from Greece home, just to New York, and then we still had to get from New York to here, and then it was a long time to be on a plane. Yeah,
and that was not pleasant. I got traveler's diarrhea, according to the doctor, and it was not fun. I'm still, even to this day, and we did that back in beginning of December, just now starting to feel what I think is fully normal.
Yeah.
And all that kind of stuff. So again, not only is it physically wasted on older generations, but monetarily, it is a lot harder for us, knowing that we have all these bills, we have things that we could do for our children.
Yeah.
Things, and all of those things pop in, even if we plan for a vacation. Let's say we plan this, and then it's much easier to say, well, you know what? There's always next year.
Yeah.
Next year we can go do that.
Yeah.
I'll do it next time.
Yeah.
Because we say that we don't have the money.
Yeah.
Or we can choose not to spend the money on vacation because it seems frivolous.
It does. But then on the other hand,
It's
you
not a
think about
necessity.
if you don't save and then you are older and you're like, I got to go work at 76
Mhm.
because I didn't save enough money.
Mm-hmm.
And who wants to do that? I mean, I'm 50 something and I don't want to work. I can only imagine when I'm in my 70s.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Tell me to do something.
Yeah.
No, I don't want to.
Well, in 2023, 19% of retired people of retirement age have to
Work.
get a job
Mhm.
Yeah.
versus 11% in 1987. And it doesn't seem like a lot. That's 11 million people, and it's quadrupled since 1987. So on the numbers,
I'm
it's like
surprised actually at that number because
That it's more?
I thought it would be flipped because we know so much more now that you have to save for retirement and you have to get because
Yeah.
my grandparents, they did not. They worked until the day they passed away.
Well, here's want to know another statistics and why sometimes it's a problem. People don't save enough for how long they're going to be retired.
Mm.
So our average age span, and I found this fascinating, I like going down the rabbit hole, is 73.5 for men, and I think it's 79 for women currently. But there is
Wait,
kind of like
73, 79 what?
That's
that's
how
how
old.
long.
Oh,
That's-
okay.
that's-
Okay.
That's your life expectancy.
So like your dad is already past that.
Yeah.
He's
Yes.
already,
Yeah.
Okay, so
outlived what he should have.
no,
Well, not should have, but
necessarily.
is expected. Or,
So there's
or,
a goalpost here.
Yeah.
If you hit 70 for men, they're expected to then live to 85
Oh.
and women to 87.
oh.
So once you hit 70, you can plan in another 15 years. So how many
Oh.
people are planning for that? You think I'm going to retire at, what's retirement age
65.
now? 65. And you think, well, I'm not going to be. No, you could be around
for another 20,
for another 20,
years.
25 years. And did you save enough for that?
Mhm.
And then it's not just living, right? It's your regular living. Now you're going to have to worry about your medication and if you got to go to the hospital and then all of that.
Mm-hmm.
There's no way we are on track to save enough for that.
Oh, 100%.
100%. We got like maybe 5 years. We may live it up in that 5 years and just Thelma and Louise it right off a cliff.
That's right. That's what we should do.
Plus, I mean, yeah, if you factor in inflation and, really think about what it's going to cost and then, those and, healthcare at that age, right? 80,
Mhm.
85, that's
Yeah.
not cheap.
And
Well,
Social
it's-
Security ain't going to cut it either.
No.
And who
If we
knows
have it.
if we even have it
People
by
keep
then.
saying it's going to go away. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think-
I don't know if
I don't
that's
think
just
our
scare
children-
tactics or whatever, but
No,
who
I
knows?
just don't think there's enough around. I think they need to revamp it, number one. But I firmly believe by the time our children get of retirement age, it's not going to look anything like we have today.
Hmm.
But supposedly they're going to run out. And so who knows if we get there, if we're going to have
Yeah.
Social
Mhm.
Security. But Social Security plus whatever we save is definitely not enough.
I agree. So we're doomed.
We are doomed.
So we might as well just go to Spain.
Might as well. That's what I said.
I think that's also some of the mentality, I think, for the younger people. That they're seeing, everything and everything that's happened since COVID and
they're just like,
inflation
"Fuck
and
it.
all these
I'm just gonna
crazy things.
do it."
And yeah.
Yeah.
So they're like, at this point, I might as well enjoy what I can now.
Yeah.
And then we'll see what happens. Somebody in the comments was like, well, we're either going to fix it or we're all just going to go up in flames. She says, but either way, I'm traveling,
Mhm. That's true. But it's a lot easier said than done.
Yes, that's true.
I mean, just like because we want to go to California in the spring.
Yes.
And
summer.
And summer, whatever.
Yeah.
But Susanna, you're like, nope, can't do it. So I don't know. It's easier said than done.
Yeah.
Because we could easily just say, no, we're not going to go. We'll save money. We'll pay off a credit card. We'll do whatever. And that's always going to be the cycle. We're always going to be like, nope, I'll always find better places to spend that money.
But I've rarely regretted a trip. I mean,
But you haven't traveled in a long time.
I have not, but
But what does that have to do
I
with
don't
anything?
regret a
does
trip,
that
and I
matter?
would do it again. I haven't traveled because I haven't wanted to travel with Darcy.
What
What does that matter? That she hasn't traveled in a long time. She's just saying if she had recently traveled, then she would regret it.
No.
I'm confused by
Because she has not regretted a trip, but she has said no to all the trips for a very long time.
I just said why.
Only because of Darcy?
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, right now because I don't have money. But I mean, yeah. Prior to that, I refused to lug my daughter around. Yeah, a lot of it was because of Darcy. I just didn't. First, I didn't think, especially after your experience with Asher in DC. I'm like, there's no way Darcy would want to be cavorting around DC with me and not whine the entire time.
Yeah.
I mean, more power to people who could do it and who can, and it was easier to lug them around when they were toddlers, right? We could make them go wherever.
Yeah.
It was not, yes, we were sometimes limited where we could go, where we could take them because they were young, but now,
They didn't
but
run
at
their
7
little
or
mouths
8 or
and
9 or 10, I don't think they appreciate
oh
No.
anything.
It would be a huge waste of thousands of dollars to
that's
take
my
him
issue, yeah.
to Spain. Yeah.
I think now they're at the nice, I think
now you
they're at a
have
good
to, you would
age.
have to specifically pick places that were more kid friendly. Like if we were to go to Australia, I think Asher there would be things there that he would enjoy in Australia. I don't think there's anything in Spain that he would give a crap about.
Yeah, but I think you could mix it. It doesn't, I think it depends on your itinerary. I think you could find a good mix, just like when we traveled together, right? There were things you wanted to do, and we figured out, some of them were in common. And we're like, oh, well, all three of us want to go here. That's great.
Yeah.
But then one day we did something I wanted to do. We did something you wanted to do. So I think they're also old enough to realize that you don't have to gear the vacation around them like when we took them on a cruise. Not that we didn't enjoy the cruise. We did. But that was also, it helped with keeping them busy.
I don't think for Asher, no. I don't think he's there yet.
No.
Because I think if we're going to do something, we're like, oh, okay, we did 4 things you want to do, and then we're doing this thing. I think he's still going to, at some point, he's not going to be able to help himself. He's going to be grumpy and pissed off, and then...
The minute that bitch says I'm bored, I'm going to slap him right across the face.
Yeah. I don't think he's there to be like, okay, I don't really want to do this, but, I can still appreciate that we're seeing something. No. If you don't care, he don't care.
Wow.
Well, plus it took us a long time. Well, like you said, when you were younger, you didn't care about traveling as much. And so...
Well, first of all, when I talk about travel, I'm talking about travel overseas. I always thought it was going to be a lot of money. And I always thought, I'm going to buy a ticket and something's going to happen and I'm not going to be able to go. The very first time that we did it, I still had that. I'm like, we're going to buy this ticket and then something's going to happen. We're not going to be able to go. But it just seemed like it was like a far off thing. You know what I mean? At that point, it didn't seem like it was something that was like, oh, one day I'm going to be able to do that.
Unattainable.
It's not that I didn't want to. It just didn't seem like it was a feasible thing for me. So, but I still wanted to see those things. I just didn't think I had a shot at it. For whatever reason, I don't exactly know. Asher just does not care. He just does not want to see them. Doesn't interest him to go see the Eiffel Tower. He's like, I don't care. To me, when I saw it, it was like, oh my God, there it is. And it's everywhere. Everywhere you go, I'm looking at it. And every time I'm like, oh, there it is again. Oh, there it is again. But I don't think that I think he'd be like, okay, he's a weirdo.
Well, the older I get, the more I care about traveling. I didn't care as much either.
Yeah.
And now I really want to see all the things and appreciate all the things, which is another reason why, because I don't want to bring him, because if he's not going to appreciate it, then I don't want to waste my damn money.
Right. I just spent $3,000 to bring you here and you don't care.
Plus, it's not enjoyable if
right.
they're going to be complaining the entire time, right?
Yeah. I'm concerned that he's going to ruin our time. That's my concern. We're going to take him and he's going to make us not have a good time, and then I'm going to be very mad at him. Yeah. So he should just stay home. It might save his life. He could end up with those living with the stray dogs of Greece.
But then, there's the other people that have the mindset of YOLO. You only live once, so just freaking do it.
And I have that mindset comes and goes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's me. I come in, I'm like, okay, well, just like for Spain, I think we should go to Spain. You do not think we should go to Spain.
Because we just had a whole thing about trying to pay off our stuff. And we're going to go to, and we are traveling. We always think about traveling, we think about Europe or somewhere, but you can travel within your own country. There's much here for us to see. So technically we are traveling.
Where?
To California. I've never been to California. You've never been to California. There's lots of things in California I would like to see. But in our mind, unless we're going overseas, we're really not traveling
That's true.
for some reason. That's how it is.
Well, I think it's a trip.
It is a trip, but it's
getting-
not under the. It's a vacation and it is a trip, but it's not traveling.
But everyone's still speaking the same language. I'm
I
not
guess.
confused about where I'm supposed to be going, riding a subway, getting lost. That's traveling.
In my brain, I'm fully aware that yes, this is a vacation. Yes,
Yeah.
but traveling in my head is
Another
going,
country.
Yes, going out of the country.
Yes.
Yeah. What motivated you to travel when you were younger? Because you didn't have the money.
Part of it was just marriage. My ex-husband is Moroccan. So the first, I think was my first trip was, I think, to go to Morocco. And that was it. I was hooked. That was it. That's all it took.
Oh. But you didn't struggle with the teeter-totter? Money.
At 20, do you struggle with the teeter-totter?
I don't know. Some
No,
people
we
do.
did.
Everything's
Some
like,
people
no.
do.
Yeah,
Some
but-
people do.
Okay, yes, but I mean, come on. In your 20s, you're still, I mean, you're still in FOMO. But in your 20s, it's FOMO all the time.
Yeah, but that's not why I spent shit.
Well, no, but still, I'm just saying, you're focused on different things.
Yes.
Yeah.
You're still living. You're still
You don't care
maturing.
about credit.
You really, I mean, you should be aware of it. You should be whatever. But no, you don't really care.
No.
It's not. You really are about experiences. I think still more so at that point. You're still learning how to live, experiencing life, growing, whatever. So no, I mean, well, the first time I went, it was a family emergency. So that's when we ended up going. And then my brother-in-law lived in Germany. So then that was also made it. So all we really had to pay for at that point was
A flight.
a flight. And it, once we started looking, I was like, well, it's really not as, I mean, it was pricey, but not as expensive as I thought. It wasn't as, oh my God, we're going to have to save for 6. No, but again, it's not like we really saved for our trips. So, I got to go to Germany then, and then we went to Hawaii, and it was just, I'm all in. Plus, I just think, not that you can't be a rounded person, but I think exposure to other cultures and the way other people live, I think is good for a person.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I
It does
agree.
give you
Perspective.
Maybe
perspective,
even
yeah.
appreciation of where you.
Yes, like when we came back from Greece, I was like, okay, not so much any place else, but when we came back from Greece, I was like, okay, I'm glad I'm back. I can eat food. Not that their food is bad.
Right.
I'm just a very
Yeah.
picky eater, so there
Yes.
was very few options for me, and it just wasn't. I don't know what I thought Athens was, but it was not what I had expected. Like when you Google Athens, you see the Acropolis. Pretty much that's all you see. So
Yeah.
that was in my mind. Like that's what Athens is. It's just a whole bunch of Acropolises, but it is not that.
Nope.
So when I got there, I was like, okay, this is not what I thought, but okay. So yeah, when I got back home, I was like, okay, I'm glad to be back.
Mm-hmm.
Even just to hear your own language.
Yeah.
Like when we would go to France, we went to France, and I know when I go to France, I'm going to hear that. But when you're constantly surrounded by people speaking and you have no idea what they're talking about, it's like after a while, it's just like, I just want to understand what people are saying.
Yeah.
So when we got home, it's like, oh, I understand people are saying.
Yep.
You can have cream in your coffee.
Yeah. Exactly. That's the worst thing is not having cream in my coffee. Milk is not cream, people. Let me just tell you. Yeah, but when we went to Hawaii, at the time, as long as I had money on my credit card, that's all I cared about.
Mhm.
If I had a limit on my credit card, then I would spend it. We spent it.
Yep.
Whereas now, there are times where I sit there and I'm like, oh, yeah, I have plenty of room on my credit card. Let's just freaking do it. Let's just fucking do it. But
Every
then,
time they raise I'm like, why are they raising my credit limit?
Yep.
I don't need that much money available to me.
Yep.
Please stop.
But then I think, oh, but we got to pay that off, and there's a monthly payment. And so when you're younger, to your point, you don't pay attention to that shit. As long as your limit is there, you're gonna push it.
Well, plus you're always, just like when you're young, death is not really something you
Yeah.
think about. You're invincible, right?
Mhm.
Or I'll just pay that off tomorrow. You got plenty of time
Yep.
for all of the things
Yep.
when you're young. Now that you're older, you're just like, well, I got to pay this off, or I'm never going to be able to retire.
Exactly.
I think if I had money socked away for retirement, I would have no problems just racking up credit. not leaving that money alone in case I have to have someone amputated or whatever.
Why would you have something amputated?
I don't know, because okay, here's the thought process. I just got diabetes. And now my foot is gangrene and they're going to cut it off.
You just so you know, people, she does not have diabetes.
Not yet.
She's theoretical here.
But as you get older, like
Yeah,
Charlie,
yeah.
my stepdad,
Yeah.
he now has diabetes.
Yeah.
I like candy.
You gotta say it like that.
Yeah.
Well, like Wilfred Brimley.
Yeah.
Diabetes.
Diabetes.
So, if I get older and I'm like, well, I'm going to eat the candy and then I'm going to get diabetes and then I'm going to not take care of myself and then I'm going to get gangrene and then I'm going to have to cut my foot. So if I have money for my foot amputation and maybe a prosthetic, I can just rack up my credit cards and with my gimpy prosthetic foot, travel as much as I can.
And who's
That's
gonna
my
pay
plan.
who's gonna pay the credit cards?
Who cares? I'm on my way out. Come at me, credit card companies. We can get divorced.
Oh,
that
we
way
can.
it won't be on you. We'll just, we'll just hang out, live in sin. Well, I'm sure we are already, according to a lot of people. But, and then you won't be responsible. So you can rack up yours and I can rack up mine.
Just
There we go. I just planned out our life.
there you go. So we're
Hopefully
going to,
not the diabetes.
or the amputated leg.
Or
foot.
I would prefer to not have anything amputated, but
Mm-hmm.
have a little stash if I need a bionic foot or something.
Mm-hmm.
Problem solved. Let's go to Spain.
And so where's this money you're saving for retirement?
I don't know.
Exactly.
I don't know.
That's got to come from somewhere.
We'll figure that out.
Well, I think she was saying if she had
If I had
that money.
yeah.
Then
yeah,
that's
just rack up
that's
the
how
credit
she would
cards.
approach it. It wouldn't be.
That's the problem. We
That's
don't
such a
have the
concern.
if.
I know.
That's the thing.
That's a lot of problem. That's a lot of people's
So,
problem. Yeah.
since you decided, right, last year, right,
Mm-hmm.
that you wanted to travel more, what have you implemented? What are you doing to save money so you can travel, if anything?
Are we doing anything specific for that reason, or are we just saving money? Is in a general saving money, and then we have to use that for travel? Look, I don't do anything with money. I don't know. She could be fleecing me blind. I would have absolutely no idea.
Which I am. Yes.
So I don't
My
know
secret life.
if you like specifically said, okay, this is a travel fund, and then here's just other savings.
No. So we have a savings,
Mm-hmm.
and every
Look,
time,
Tara, you're learning all about your money today.
Yeah.
Where's my money?
every time I put money in there, we usually end up dwindling it down for some reason.
Yes.
And you know what our biggest problem is?
Going out to eat.
Which we just talked, Suzanne and I just talked about this earlier. It's fucking going out to eat. Spend so much money on food.
Because we go to it's Panera. I'm getting soup and macaroni and cheese. You're getting a sandwich.
Yeah.
And we walk
And
out
we
with
do the you pick two, people. We split this shit up.
and it's like $50.
Yeah.
For Panera.
Listen,
Fucking ridiculous.
McDonald's is like,
Yeah,
Yeah.
we just went to McDonald's for us, $30.
Yeah.
30 fucking bucks. And that was with some things, buy one, get one and shit. So that's the problem. So we end up dwindling that money down. So before we moved to Florida,
No.
before we moved to Colorado, we had a really good nest egg. Listen, COVID was not a good time. I don't want to go back to COVID, but as a family and our monetary spending, we
It was
had to
good for
come up.
us.
It was very good for us.
I mean, we got, the government gave us money. We didn't go anywhere.
we didn't eat out. Tara was super, what you want to call it?
Responsible.
Cautious, responsible. Listen, I did what you said to fucking do.
As you should.
Oh, whatever. So, but we were able to, we didn't eat out. We didn't go out on the weekends. We didn't do anything.
Nope.
Plus we got the money and we just kept socking it away and we had a really nice nest egg.
And then we moved here.
And then we fucking sold the house.
And then movers are a scam.
It's a 100% motherfucking scam. Let me just tell you people. They quoted us one price and we ended up paying $16,000 dollars. Anyways.
Yeah,
So our money, it disappeared. And so since then it's been harder to get back to that.
Yeah, because then we got here, people here don't put AC in their house.
Mm-hmm. That's
Being from
ridiculous.
Florida, that's insanity.
Mhm.
So we had to put that in.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
we got an AC. Then the house is more money in general, and fucking food.
Just eat bagels. I try to tell you. Just get some bagels and eat bagels.
You're out of
Listen.
bagels.
I know,
Listen,
but
just listen to the CEO of. Just eat cereal. You can have cereal for dinner.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So anyway, back to your question, Susanna. We have been able to. So credit cards are paid off. All but one.
Nice.
Apple Card.
No.
Good job.
My Apple Card is not paid off.
Yes, but it's didn't we just have this discussion?
Yes, it's
Everything
paid off, so
is
there's not
current.
interest. But okay,
And so then that
Paid
will
off-
be paid off this month. That's how it works.
paid off to me is zero balance. I do
No.
not have a zero balance. Okay, so
but
then
you
therefore,
will this month. Every month you will have a zero.
okay, then I'm a
balance.
millionaire because I plan on being a millionaire. So I'm a millionaire right now.
That
It's
makes
not
no sense.
it's
what
not
you're
paid
saying.
off until it's paid off. You can't say I plan on paying off, therefore it's paid off.
No.
Okay, my car's paid off. Our house is paid off because we plan on paying those off.
That's because you pay it off at the end of each month.
Right.
Oh, then it's.
It's
we
paid off.
haven't.
This,
we haven't
but we
been paying
are
it.
at a point where we can. This is what will
So
happen.
we are going to have.
Okay.
We are paid off this month. We paid off our balances.
We are up to date. We are not paid off.
That's not up to date. Up to date is making the minimum payment.
Listen, is this some sort of weird financial talk? Because to
No.
me, if you have a balance on your credit card, it is not paid off.
But then, Tara, every
You
time
can
you
be
use
up to date on your payments.
no up. That's a minimum payment. Up to date is not the same as paying off. Meaning that we had a statement balance at the end of January. We paid it on the due date in February. We paid it off. That is what we did.
Susanna,
I can see what you're both saying.
if you say, "Oh, I paid it off," to me, it's done. Your debt is paid in
Okay,
full.
but then I
Your-
go to McDonald's and I spend $28. Then we're going to consider that not paid off. But yes, we paid it off.
If you can pay it off, if you're paying it off at the end of every month, I don't
You're-
consider that
Debt.
like you're in debt.
Right.
It's my credit cards that I can't pay off. No matter, it's going to take me the better part
First
of
of
a
all,
year.
it's not like we had not. It's not like on the Apple Card is $50. It's more than that.
Yes, but
so
if you can
anything
still
could happen between now and that time where, okay, now we need to funnel those funds to somewhere else.
True.
And now it's not paid off because now your dad came to visit and something broke, because that's what happens every time he comes. Something breaks. So he's come, something's broken.
He needs to
now,
put his money into a fund.
no. So now we have to put that money there as opposed to paying off the credit card.
That is 100% true. However, right now with the money that we have and what we have in the books to be paid and everything, we should be able to pay off all.
Should
we are,
be able to.
Oh my gosh. Tara,
Calm
you're
down.
making no sense.
I am making sense.
No,
If-
because that's how it
Do you
works.
have a student debt? No, I paid it off. So I'm thinking you no longer owe any money. Not, I paid my
Yes.
monthly payment in full. So for this month,
No,
I don't know
That's
anything.
the difference. If I say I'm up to date, it means I can keep up with my payments on my student loan.
Up to date.
If I've paid it off, then it means I've paid it off. But that's a loan. That's a little bit different than credit cards.
Yes.
To me, that's what credit cards are.
They are.
They're loaning you money and you're
You're
paying
not
them back.
wrong, but that's a reoccurring thing that happens.
But it doesn't
We're
have to be. It's only
alone.
reoccurring because we're choosing to. It's not like
No. Let's back this train up. That's a good point. Listen, I'm going to say back this train up.
I know.
We're going to back this motherfucker up. Now, that is a perfect point. We could use our checking account to pay for everything.
Yes.
We do not because we get the points.
Right.
That is the only reason we're using credit cards.
Okay.
We are paid up. Because we could take everything that we spend.
Agree to disagree.
No, but
Please
you are
let
wrong.
us know your thoughts.
Yes, people,
Do you consider yourself paid off when you still have a debt?
you don't have a debt.
You owe money. We owe money
Listen.
to motherfucking Steve Jobs.
Listen,
He has soul.
No. We have money here in the credit card that we owe. We have the very same money in our checking account that could easily cover this. So as far as our assets go, we are not in debt. Does that do you
I didn't
understand
say
that?
we were in debt. I said it's not paid off.
It's paid off, motherfucker. It's paid off.
It's paid off.
It's a timing thing.
Yes.
To Tara, it is not paid off until it's zero. But you're never going to see zero on your credit card because you're using it for the points.
Exactly.
And
It'll
so
be-
that you can
if we
buy
pay
whatever you
whatever
buy
that
with
amount
them.
of money is from now until the next time I use it, it is paid off. It'll be a zero until the next time I use it. And then it will be paid off. And then I will charge it. And then it will not be paid off.
Listeners,
then I will owe somebody money.
Let's talk about.
So
this is precisely
so if I
why.
borrowed $37 from you.
Yes.
No, I have $37, but I borrowed it from you.
Yes, you borrowed it.
We're even. Because I got it in my bank account. Even though I owe it to you, I'm not giving it to you.
It's not mine.
I could pay it off. So therefore, I'm even. It's paid off. That was your theory.
No.
We owe Apple this amount of money, and we have it here, so we're paid off.
That makes no sense. I'm saying that we pay off the balance at the end of the
I'm
month.
going to have a nervous breakdown.
Listen.
I just said the exact same thing that you said.
It's not the same because you and I are one entity in that thing. In your
Okay,
scenario,
my sister owes you $37.
we're two entities.
And instead,
exactly,
she's got
that
$37.
agrees. I agree. That's
So then
two separate
so you're
entities.
paid off.
No, because we are not the same entity. To Steve Jobs, we are the same entity.
If only we were. We'd be floating around in Apple money.
What?
But we're
You
not.
and me are the same entity.
You said you and Steve Jobs are the same entity.
No, to Steve Jobs, you and her.
Oh, I
are
see.
the same entity.
Now, this is precisely why she doesn't do the bills.
No.
Yes, it is.
I'm holding strong.
No.
I think there are people out there that agree that if they have a credit card and there is an amount owed, it is not paid off. Even if they could pay it off if they wanted to, and they just haven't yet.
No. I'm only saying if there's no interest charged.
Okay.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Well, Tara's not saying that that's not true. Just Tara's saying until you pay it off, you have debt. That's the difference. Anyway, what else? What else
I
do you do?
completely agree that it's not paid off, but we are not up to date.
Okay, but
That is not what you're saying.
All I was
Up to
saying-
date means that we just made the
all I was
current
saying
payment.
is that we are not paid off. And then this is how we got here, because you couldn't just say, you're right, Tara, we're not paid
Oh,
off.
shut up.
I love you.
Oh my gosh, I'm gonna
You're so
puke.
smart.
Oh. Is it stressful for you?
You exhaust me sometimes.
You exhaust me.
Anything else you do?
Well, so for a while there, so when we first made the decision, we set aside money to eat out, only a certain amount that we would eat out. Then, and we also use coupons as much as possible. I've slacked off on coupons. I've slacked off on not eating out as much. I feel like here in Colorado, we spend, and it could be just post-COVID. I think you've mentioned before that post-COVID, everything is just more expensive. So in the beginning, I was doing really well. Like we had our budget. We had, okay, we're only going to go out once on the weekends, or for, let's just say, I don't know, $60 or whatever, or two smaller ones, two $30 ones, whatever. Now, since Christmas,
willy-nilly.
willy freaking nilly.
I think that happens too, because you get, I think you just sort of keep up the spending habits from Christmas. You kind of loosen up for the holidays, right? You know, you're going to be out, you're shopping for gifts. And if you're out, you're also spending time with family, and you're like, oh, well, if we're out shopping, we're going to grab a bite here, and then we can keep going, or just whatever. You just end up doing a lot more during the holidays. And I think it's easy to just sort of keep that going. Yeah. And then you're like, all of a sudden, well, it's not the holidays anymore.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
You have a credit card that gives you airline points?
We have one that does airline points, and then the Apple one gives us
We just started using
back.
the airline point ones because we wanted to travel. Before that, we were using Apple because they give you like
3 to 5%.
3 to 5%
1
back.
to 3, something like that. Now with the credit card that gives us airline points, we're getting more points, which is exactly how Asher and I are able to go to see my parents for spring break. I didn't have to pay for anything.
So we're not traveling yet. They're flying to Oklahoma and we're going to California. So there is travel happening. It's just not exotic travel.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. But we didn't have to spend. No, I had to pay the $5 each way. So I had to pay $20 for him and I to go to Oklahoma. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And also when we travel, I wouldn't say budget. It's not budget travel, but it's Sunshine tries to find the best deal, and I understand. But every once in a while, it would be nice if we were to stay in Paris, if I had a hotel that wasn't 30-minute train ride to Paris, we stayed in a neighborhood and then we took the train in. I would like to at least one time stay in there where I have a view of the Eiffel Tower from my Airbnb. And I'm not saying the whole time, But I think
you're painting the wrong picture here. Just so you all know, we've only been to Paris once. But she's making it sound like we frequent and I choose a cheap hotel every time. That is not the case. But she's just saying in general, yes. I do buy or try to get the cheaper. However, when we stayed in New York, that was right downtown.
It was.
And
it was.
I did it like a big girl.
Good job.
That was nice. When I went to see Hamilton, we stayed, I was able to walk from the hotel down.
Yep.
That's
great.
That's what we did too. Yeah. What about you, Susanna?
What about me?
What is your thoughts?
I'm in a completely different situation than you are right now. My credit cards are not paid off. I am less than part-time employed. So yeah, I've got to climb. But if I had the money, I'd be traveling. Screw it.
Yeah, but even like when we started this conversation where you didn't have the money before and you still traveled.
But that was 20, you were considerably younger.
Yes.
Right.
So I know. That's what I'm asking. So those things don't apply anymore, I'm assuming?
No, I just said I would travel.
No, you said if you had money.
Well, I think she means if she was in that position.
Well, of course, if I had money, I don't have a credit card to even put it on, Sunshine.
No, listen to what I'm saying.
If she were in that,
listen to what I'm saying.
If the financial system was a little more lax, like it wasn't,
then I'd be going to California.
So when you said if I had money, so not if I had money, it's if I had a full-time job and I was making regular payments to my credit cards, then I would do it, or the credit cards would have to be paid off, and then I had a budget for travel.
I don't require all my credit cards to be paid off for me to have an experience. I do not require that.
That's what I'm asking.
I do not require
that. Very, very angry at me when I just didn't
not.
Understand what you were saying.
Well, it's like,
because you could say if I have money or
but
credit
when
card,
I say, but
which one is it?
I currently have no money. Okay.
And so, what about the people that choose to travel and forego paying bills or credit cards? They just, that they're going, and that's future me's problem.
Well, that was future me's problem when I was young. So
some people
I guess if you're okay with that,
some
that's
people,
up to you.
They don't have that anxiety of,
right.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I don't really have this money, but whatever, I'm just going to do it anyway.
Mm-hmm.
I cannot physically, at this point, and I would at least at this point, like half of my credit cards to be, and then I'd be like, okay, I'm comfortable. I can see I have a plan. Right now, I'm not in that situation. Usually when I have a plan, then, it's a loose plan, but it's a plan.
Yeah.
I don't need, like I said, I don't need everything to be paid off for me to.
But you're not going to leave yourself destitute.
Exactly. I'm not going to do that either. I have
Especially when you have children.
But I also have a kid. Yeah.
Yeah.
So on top of that, I wouldn't, I couldn't do that.
So we don't have a final answer.
Well, I think the answer is you should make an attempt to do both.
I think yes.
To the best of your ability.
Yeah.
Even if you travel within your own country, there's plenty of things here. America is gigantic compared to.
There's plenty to see.
There's plenty to see, plenty to do that you don't have to. Even if you just like those people who just get in your car.
Mm-hmm.
I can put a little bed in the back of my car and rent a space at a campsite and just sleep in my car.
Really? Or you would go to a town where you did not make any reservations and choose
Listen, I didn't know I was going into
night.
the saloon town, Wild West. I thought there'd be a little bit more going on. But
and we're not saying that traveling in the US isn't still travel. Yes, the main difference is that the trip to Spain would cost us $6,000.
Right.
Whereas if we chose a different place, more local, it would just be less money. Yeah.
I think, especially if you're younger, I think if I was 10 years ago and I was putting money into my 401k and maybe even putting my limit in my Roth IRA, right? Say, for example, anything else? Yeah, travel.
Yeah. And we're not saying mess up your credit. Please don't take any of this as mess up your credit, just rack it up. No. We're speaking as overall a general responsible adult is making these choices. And,
Okay.
All right. So if you have any suggestions or tell us about your travel tips or, what you would do, then feel free to hit us up on all the socials, all the things.
All the things.
We
really need to go down.
No, we don't.
All the things.
All the things. And until next time, peace out, bitches.
Adios.
Bye.